Okay, let's take a look now at the GOLFiQ Matrix. The Matrix is the most detailed and analytical part of GOLFiQ, but it can really help you get some insight into a player's history going into an event. So if you remember, briefly review, when we looked at the player guide and we looked at an individual player, let's say Paul Casey, we showed you a lot of information about Casey's career performance using a lot of variables, a lot of categories. So we looked at tournament records, career results, but also looked at performance per month, per season, per swing, per greens grass type, and for long and short courses. So what Matrix allows you to do is Matrix allows you to look at all the players in the field using a subset of those values that you see in the player guide. It would be impossible for us. There's too many categories of information to spread them all out on a screen, but we allow you to pick two categories of information to use those to compare the players in the field. So let me show you how that works. So let's say I'm going to look at the field for the Arnold Palmer. And I want to pick two categories. So these are all the different categories of information we had in the individual player guide. So I might want to pick the Florida swing, since this week we're at the Arnold Palmer Invitational at Bay Hill. And then since we're playing this week on Bermuda Greens, I might want to look at Bermuda Greens. So I have field, my two columns picked. I want to include DraftKings data, and we're going to optimize columns. So then we're going to click on Go. Now, so what I'm looking at is the entire field, and then I pull out information from the player guide based on my selections on the previous screen for these players. And the power of this is that not only do I have all this information on the screen for every player in the field, but I can sort by column. So let's say I wanted to look at which players in the field for their career have had the best top 10 percentage. And it just takes one click on any column header to sort by that column. So in this case, I have Lee Hodges number one. He's played in one event. He finished in the top 10. Tommy Fleetwood has played in 12 events. He's finished in the top 10 in 7 of them for 58%. And so forth. So I see the top players by percentage of Florida swing. Now I can also come and look at the associated, my second column of information, to see how they did over here. So this would have an indication of how they've done on Bermuda Greens for their career on any course with Bermuda Greens. Lee Hodges has played in 8 of them. He's made the cut every time. And also his DraftKings salary is only $6,600, so he might be a good pick this week. Fleetwood has played 30 times on Bermuda Greens. He's made the cut 88% of the time, and so forth. So it gives you two columns of information using these values within that column to compare players in the field. Now, one other thing that GOLFiQ Matrix allows you to do is pick which values you want to use across all categories, not the categories themselves. So let me show you. Let's say, again, I want to look at top 10 percentage. And then let's say another value across all calories. I want to look at cuts made. And again, I come down here and click Go. So what we do here is we pull out those values from relevant categories. So in this case, we pulled out the top 10 percentage from the past 12 months, their career, majors, the month before and after, including the current month, the current season, the current greens type. This is an abbreviation for the greens type, Bermuda. We wanted to make sure we could fit everything on the screen. And then the current season. So I can look at I can now sort players by their top 10 percentage in Florida. I can sort players by their top 10 percentage on Bermuda greens. I can sort players by their top 10 percentage in the spring season and so forth. And then the other number I used over here was cuts made percentage. So I can again do the same thing. I can see how players have done cuts made in March. And again, this shows me a lot of players that have made 100% of their cuts in March, how they've done by season, and how they've done by greens type. So again, that's a good way to look at slice and dice the actual players in the field using the detailed information from the player guide. I hope that was helpful, and thank you for watching. Hey, a reminder to sign up for GolfiQ. Just go to golfstats.com, click on the GolfiQ home button, or go to golfiq.com, and you can use coupon code IQM for a 20% discount on a monthly membership, and code IQA for a 20% discount on an annual membership. Thank you.